Adobe just acquired Semrush. 1.9 billion with a B.
Wow. I thought of when Atlassian bought Loom and then it just ruined everything. The actual marketing kind of goes to shit, you know?
My first initial thought is product's done. I like the brand overall. I don't even know. They got a bad track record is what I'm saying. Something that I think was kind of interesting that came from it.
Hey, it's Dave Gerhardt. I spent my career in marketing going from PR intern to CMO, and now I spend my time running Exit 5, which is, in my opinion, at least the world's best community for B2B marketers. If you need a place to connect with your peers, get feedback on your work, or just make new friends in marketing, you should go and check us out. It's exit5.com. You can learn more.
All right, marketers, grab your overpriced standing desks and that oat milk latte you love so much, because welcome to Notorious B2B, the only show where we treat LinkedIn drama like breaking news and expose the real B2B marketing sins.
Yeah, think of us like SNL meets TMZ, but for the people who argue about whether gated content is still a thing or not. I'm Task Bober, B2B landing page nerd and lovable troll on LinkedIn.
And I'm Tim Davidson, the guy making TikTok-style videos and cutting fruit on LinkedIn. Together, we're cutting out nonsense and roasting the most ridiculous trends in B2B marketing.
Because if we have to suffer through another 10 things getting engaged taught me about B2B sales, we're taking you all down with us.
Let's get into it.
This episode is brought to you by our friends at Vector, aka the reason that your ad targeting actually works. You know, the ones with the cute little ghosties in the feed. Your favorite marketing team's secret weapon for ad targeting. See why at vector.co. Welcome
to
Notorious
B2B IT Desk.
Tim thinks I look like an IT desk worker, apparently, because I'm wearing a collared shirt and a sweater. But joke's on you, because it's actually a collared shirt stitched into a sweater.
Wow.
Yeah,
Efficient.
It's not actually a shirt.
Very efficient.
It is extremely efficient. Okay, so as you know, I've been spiraling today on how to make this the best fucking show in B2B. And like good marketers, we made a lot of assumptions, and then we're like, maybe we should just, ask people who actually listen to this to see how good they made it. So before we decided to ask our listeners, we turned to AI, we turned to each other, we turned to a couple of friends who don't even freaking listen to the podcast. We're like, oh, we should ask some people. So I'm still waiting on some feedback, but in this segment that I'm calling Waiting Room,
Waiting room.
Waiting room in the Zoom waiting room.
Oh, yeah.
While we wait for others to join the call, I wanted to share some of the feedback because we like to build in public a little bit, not all the bit. And this is what we're kind of hearing. You let us know in the DMs if this is accurate, not accurate, or there's any other feedback. And don't be afraid to hurt Tim's feelings. So
You could tell me anything. I know everyone's going to text you, though, so it's all right.
yeah, everyone does message me. And you were worried that everyone was going to be really nice. But I think there's a couple of people who I think would be honest, even, though they're friends with us.
Good.
Okay, so here's some of the feedback that we're getting. Number one, the teaser clip before the sponsor messages and intro. So instead of just going right into our sponsor, which is Dave Gerhardt, which I think retention goes up the minute someone hears his podcast voice, but that's just me. We could do a cold open. Maybe it's a clip from the middle of the episode where we're kind of talking about that hero story, and then go into sponsor messages and intro. I had a second thought that was in there somewhere. Do we play the intro every single time? Do you feel like you think we should?
Currently do. No, we currently do.
Yes, that's what I'm asking. Should we continue to do that?
I don't know.
Maybe a shorter version.
Don't know the answer. Yeah, because someone's new, they might need to listen to that.
That's my logic as well. And then I was listening to some other podcasts, and I don't know that they do it every time, but I don't know. So TBD, that's something we can take a vote on. Second, we have talked about this, time boxing. So too much ranting on one subject. I think we spent 7 minutes on Duolingo last week, and even when he's timing me right now, even when I was going through it, queuing the episode, I'm like, dang, how much is there to say about Duolingo reducing the salary. Okay. Next, move some segments up, like closed one, whatever. We test the order all the time. Summarize posts instead of reading them. I did hear about this from a couple of listeners, which I'm like, great, because Tim hates reading them word for word anyway. So summaries, you might actually like those better. Include more Reddit stuff, not just LinkedIn. That's fair. That's fair. Keep the initial funny though at the beginning about IT desk. Okay, you trapped me with that one. You literally just wrote that just now. And then finally, we were also noodling on promoting Notorious B2B, and we had a wild idea to promote it with a campaign called Things That Would Never Get Approved In-House. Like, our ICP is not in Nebraska. Let's buy a random billboard in the middle of Nebraska and then take a picture, or have someone take a picture and then, create a LinkedIn post around it.
Can I expand on that?
Yes.
Because that was my initial idea, and I was like, oh yeah, because I could rent a car. I'll go there. I'll rent a car and like drive by it a bunch of times. That could be funny. Or hear me out. I record podcasts there. Like I set up a desk like right under it and record one episode there. Or like I feel like we could do something like that. Or like I could pay a bunch of people like $20 each to drive by it. I don't know. I feel like there's something there because it'd be a cheap billboard.
I think that might be a cool thing to do. The other ones that I was thinking too was just doing something super meta, which is going to other podcasts and our friends' podcasts and advertising on there, which isn't like that would get approved internally. So I guess it's not that daring. I gave you some other ideas the other day too, and I can't remember what they were, but I would just want to do something wild and crazy for Notorious B2B and have maybe we should hire some kind of like B-list celebrity to do something.
A lookalike celebrity.
A lookalike, because we can't afford the real ones.
Well, and you get there's that too. A lookalike would be good though. Some of them are legit. Some of them are legit.
Like an Elvis impersonator?
Well, someone did this at Dreamforce a few years ago. They hired this person has like 4 million followers on Twitter, by the way. They look like Snoop Dogg.
I would be down.
I have a picture with them, exactly like Snoop Dogg. And that type of stuff I think we could do. There's tons of people out there that are famous because
Yes.
Someone famous.
We should also do the thing that Chili Piper did, which was set up a booth when they didn't actually have a booth until they got kicked out. And then Roxana, she timed how long it took them before security came.
That's pretty funny.
And kicked them out. That would be hilarious.
Really good.
And I could see us doing that.
It's really good.
Okay. All right. Well, send us your ideas. Tell us things that would never get approved internally. Give us feedback on how to make this an amazing show that you want to keep coming back and listening to. We have sponsors to answer to right now. So, this is super duper important. All right.
Weird thing to say.
Just kidding. We're going to do whatever we want anyway. But, like,
All right.
yeah.
Retention rate.
Retention rate. Oh,
Let's get into it. Docket.
Docket.
Is full.
Yes. We actually have urgent all hands this week.
A little bit of urgent. Both hands are up here. We got all
Okay.
hands. Someone paid a pretty penny for a MarTech tool. Adobe. Adobe just acquired Semrush. 1.9 billion with a B.
Wow.
When I saw that, I thought of something. What was your kind of first initial thought when you heard that?
I thought of when Atlassian bought Loom and then it just ruined everything.
Yeah. That is
It ruined not the tool. The tool is much of the same, but I used to use Loom all the time as an example in my posts and my landing page stuff. And then recently I went back to the same landing page and it just had all the regular B2B enterprise gobbledygook on there. And I was like, it's ruined.
the page specifically.
Yeah. The actual marketing kind of goes to shit,
I gotcha.
What do you think?
I think Loom, I still use Loom, so I can't knock
I do
that
use
one.
Loom. Yeah, the product is fine, like I said, but the marketing goes downhill. What are your thoughts though?
My first initial thought was the product's going to take a big hit and hit the toilet. It's going to suck. I thought my first initial thought is product's done.
I mean, I don't think that's true though, because
Why?
Using the Loom example, they didn't touch Loom.
We're not talking about Atlassian here.
I know, but I'm
We're
just
talking
saying
about-
that it's not a situation.
We're talking about a company called Adobe who also owns Marketo. Have you seen that UI lately? When's the last time that's been updated? 1800s? Have you looked at Visible?
Okay.
Acquisitions usually, yes, they might kill the product or keep them the same.
Yeah.
Adobe specifically has a very long track record of just keeping everything lame city, Utah. Like they just so either Semrush will never get updated again, which is very bad in their world because geo, like all that stuff just keeps evolving,
Mm.
SEO and all that, or it's just going to downgrade actually and just keep it on brand with Marketo, which so it'll just look like a Minesweeper. That's my thought.
Sweep.
That's my thought on it. I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong. Hope I'm not wrong, but I mean, they pretty penny for a MarTech tool that's known for SEO and paid kind of analysis. I think that's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. So your opinion is that Adobe specifically is probably going to ruin it a little bit.
They're not known for making it better. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I like Adobe overall. Like people love Photoshop and stuff. I don't use it.
Yeah.
So actually, guess I don't like it, Adobe. I like the brand overall. I don't even know. They got bad track records is what I'm saying.
While Tim is figuring that out, I used to love the OG Adobe, which is the Dreamweaver. Used Adobe Premiere in the beginning. Photoshop, big Photoshop person back in the day.
Back in the
Canva
day.
Canva kind of ruined all of that. Marketo, I have a lot of trauma with Marketo just from, working in-house and the last few jobs. You're right that they don't tend to update a lot of stuff. The single tool that I dislike the most is Adobe Experience Manager, when we had to migrate like 400 websites to it, and it was like a terrible CMS to use. So hopefully they have changed it since then. I worry. Yeah, Semrush. Is it SEMrush or Semrush?
I think it's actually Semrush.
Yeah, I think it is. You said SEMrush. I just want.
Well, it doesn't matter anymore, does it?
No, it doesn't. It's going to change anyway.
Yeah.
But they had this kind of like not new kids on the block, but they kind of had a fresh perception, like even compared to Ahrefs, I use Ahrefs more than Semrush, but I did love Semrush for like their competitive analysis and things like that. But I guess we'll revisit this and circle back in 10 years and see if they've updated the UI.
Yeah, no shot.
No shot.
But something that I think was kind of interesting that came from it.
Oh.
I'm not sure if everyone loves this or not, but I thought it was actually a good idea because Adobe acquired them.
Okay.
You mentioned Ahrefs. Is it Ahrefs or is it Ahrefs?
I think it's
Ahrefs, I think, right?
No, it's Ahrefs.
Okay,
I saw some
fair
video on how they pronounce it.
Fair enough. Well, at least their head of product marketing posted on LinkedIn. And he was like, yeah, Adobe just acquired SEMrush or Semrush. Here's a video of why we're better than Semrush. That was basically an Ahrefs versus Semrush video. I thought it was perfect timing. I mean, what other time are you to do that? I love it.
He probably got promoted just for that.
Well, maybe. Yeah, maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
the video itself got about 230 likes. I mean, it's not like a huge engagement, but like we talked about acquisitions, people know the product's not gonna get updated or anything like that. So I feel like that was a perfect time for someone to just say, hey, just letting you know, we are the competitor and this is why we're better.
The hook itself is appealing because that's what got people to click into it, because he just says Adobe just acquired Semrush, which everyone's like, if someone hasn't heard of it, they can look at it, but then other people are like, oh, I get you, this is good timing. And to be fair, 232 reactions these days is like viral on LinkedIn.
Yeah, true.
So I would say that that's a good response. But yes, it is smart, capitalizing on relevancy, timely news, and a comparison thing, even though it's kind of, it's traditional B2B comparisons. It's like, here's this video of how we're better.
Yeah, but something else that's funny is actually, I think it's the first frame, basically the page. Yeah, page has social proof, and some people noted the first logo on there is Adobe. First logo, it's just perfect timing. I just think it's just great.
Even Adobe uses us.
Yeah. Oh, that would have if you add that to the hook, that would have been better. By the way.
Okay, we'll give him some tips. We'll send it to him.
Yeah.
All right.
He'll get this. Let's go. Next up.
Let's go. Oh, look at that speed, guys. The speed.
Yeah. 30 seconds to go.
30 seconds. Oh, shit. Nice. Love it. Okay. I'm going to waste 30 seconds saying
We're
that.
losing it. Nice.
Okay. Moving on.
Let's noodle.
I want to spend a little time on this post. So it is sitting in our Let's Noodle / deep dive segment.
This one's interesting. I will say this is an interesting one.
This is an interesting one. So I'm not going to read the whole post. I'll give you the quick TLDR. But basically, this lady, Jessica, posts on LinkedIn. And we've talked about this before where we're like, oh, is the algorithm biased? Blah, blah, blah. So Jessica says, how to become a man on LinkedIn. And she basically insinuates that if you change your demographics on LinkedIn to a straight white male, your impressions will go up. Usually we hear about these things, there's speculation, fine, whatever, right? She said that she did it and she tells you how to do it, like go to settings and privacy, change your demographic. And it's kind of wild, the questions that they ask you. It's like, what race are you? What gender? What do you identify as? Are you at stay at home or are you actually in the workforce? That was one of the questions, which was so wild to me. So is it just going to give you less because you're a stay at home or primary caregiver? And it says like primary caregiver unpaid. Like those are some of the questions that it asked, which is so strange to me. So I see this post. I'm like, okay, it's kind of gimmicky, whatever. Then I start looking at the comments. Okay. And there are a few people in here, like Ashley Phillips, who actually changed this. And she said, this can't be a coincidence, right? And you can see that her post impressions have gone up by 116%. Now, this is just one person. I'm like, fine, maybe she's fudging it up, whatever. She's kind of capitalizing on stirring the pot a little bit. There are other people in here who are also doing the same thing. So here is Lucy Ferguson, who did the same thing, and she saw quite a clear spike in that time frame. So Tass did the only thing that makes sense, which is I went and changed my demographics before this call to straight white male, and I will be reporting on this in the next week. Now I have a final thing that I want to say.
Okay.
So obviously I posted my B2B Now music video. It's a free plug because this is my show. I can do what I want. And it's so funny. So if you go to that video, I have like 125 likes at this moment, something like that. And I'm going to show you something. So I have this video, 127 likes. If you go to the analytics, it gives you like 10 hours of watch time or whatever, right? Like it gives you the usual stuff. So now it's at 11 hours, 7 minutes. It was like 10 hours and something. And it had like 750 video views. Then my friend Connor, who helped me make this video, straight white man, well, straight-ish white man, by white man, to the algorithm, no different. He posted the bloopers video, which is longer, and obviously it's not the original. He has 70 likes on it, but his impressions are higher and his total watch time is also higher, even though I have more likes, more comments, more everything. Coincidence?
How long is this video? There's something to that. You said
2
watch
minutes.
time, right?
Yeah. So mine is almost 3 minutes, and his is somewhere around the same.
Is the same? Okay.
Yeah, they're very close. The themes are the same.
Okay.
Mine's the original. His is the bloopers.
Okay.
Okay. Any speculation there?
Well, your test stinks because you changed yours to Mel. So I have nothing. We won't know because you changed it.
I changed it just now.
Oh, like
literally before the call, even though that post was
Gotcha.
posted this morning.
I gotcha. Nothing I say is going to be right, by the way. I don't know. There could be something to it. I feel like we need more people doing it, and we need the opposite. We need me, or I'm not saying me, but someone else to say they're female.
Okay, go ahead.
My business is predicated on LinkedIn. I can't do testing all the time. I don't know. I don't know.
But see, you're scared. You're already scared. So here's the thing. It's funny because all these women changed their settings in the comments. So those were the two that supplied data. Everybody else participated and they're waiting on the results, me included. But it's so funny because there are some people in there who are like, I don't know if it is, whatever. There's one dude in there who says, I am a white male, and I just realized that I did not have my demographic information even supplied. So I'm going to add that now, and I'll report back as a guy. But you're like too scared to try it just in case it does tank.
I might do it. My qualm with this whole test, though, is because LinkedIn's so finicky. Those things don't tell the whole story because they could have one post that just blew up.
Yeah.
There's also that stuff, right? Like you do it. You're also doing it the shittiest time of the year. People go on holidays.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your data actually might be wrong. You're probably gonna have less impressions.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, so then you have to do it again. That's the only problem. The other thing I'm thinking about is I find it interesting. Maybe it's all impression based, but I've done a bunch of tests in advertising on LinkedIn where like so message ads, woman versus female, male versus female, male versus female. I've done like images. If you have like people imagery in it, a person, a male in a business suit, female. I've done all those tests. Women actually win those tests. Open rates higher with female. People imagery, if it's a female, win. That typically happens. Again, this is not about like the algorithm. That's more advertised. That's like click-through rates and like conversion rates and stuff like that. Impressions, I mean, I don't know. Maybe that is a bias, is like they give you more impressions because you're a male versus a female. I don't know. It could be a thing. And if it is, LinkedIn's screwed.
Yeah, but like you said, the great thing for them is that
Like
they have 100 excuses as to why it's not. It would be one of those situations where we would have to see it leaked. Just like, was it Meta's AI that was leaked and had all the like weird rules in there?
Yeah, you just have
we would have to see what LinkedIn's rules are. And to be honest, LinkedIn's like the ugly step sister or whatever of all the social media platforms. Like their AI, all their stuff that they try, it's all shit. You know, it's like they're still with like AI comments and stuff. Like they're just not advancing like the other ones. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some legacy shit in here that just, you know, just like doesn't work or doesn't work well.
The other good test would be is maybe actually the trigger is just switching. Maybe just switching from male to female actually does it, because they saw those increases. But what if they did the opposite? Maybe that was the switch.
What do you mean?
Like just switching your demographics is the trigger, not that you went from male to female, female to male, but just switching in general, like resets the algorithm because the algorithm's shit.
I don't get it. But like that's what we did though. We all changed our demographics from female to male.
But I don't think in theory it doesn't have to be about male or female. It's just that you switched it.
Oh.
In general, it doesn't matter. It could be alien. It doesn't matter if they had more options. Like I'm an alien, an animal, I'm a furry, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. It's just whatever. It's just switching is actually the trigger.
Ooh, interesting.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
I'll report back.
I hope you do. That'd be interesting.
I will report back, but also then it can't be definitive because again, too many variables.
We got to do some more research too. And we'll come back on this because I think I've seen stuff on Reddit that's like not just LinkedIn, like people did at Meta that did similar stuff too. So that'd be very interesting.
Okay, moving on.
Hey there, Jess Cook, head of marketing at Vector here. And anyone who listens to Tass and Tim on Notorious B2B is a friend of mine. So I'm going to hold your hand while I say this. Native targeting is filling your funnel with ghosts. Wouldn't you rather put your ad dollars toward, I don't know, people on your website, clicking your ads, researching your competitors? I know I would. Vector lets you build ad audiences from those exact people. Unlike native targeting, which gatekeeps that shit. Only letting you pick like some titles and industries and then just trusting them to show your ads to the right people. Boo. Okay. Rant over, go to vector.co and get your ad audiences right.
Big prompt energy.
You know what happened this week? Cloudflare broke the internet.
Did
you try to log in ChatGPT?
No. So this is the funny thing that I think Lovable is on it because Lovable went down and, you know, I've been kind of deep in that world for a little bit. And I was like, what the hell is going on there? But the hilarious thing about this story is that every article I looked at kept saying Cloudflare, you probably haven't heard of this company. And I'm like, we're in B2B. We've all heard of this company. It's a pretty decently known company in our space, but it's hilarious when you have, you know, like the CNNs of the world reporting to the rest of the world. And they're like, this company that you've never heard of runs 20% of the internet. I'm like, who hasn't heard of Cloudflare? Apparently
most
a lot
people.
of people. Yeah, most people. Okay, go. What's the story?
Well, yeah. So like you said, 20% of the internet basically stopped working on Monday. But here's where it's freaking annoying, actually. Maybe this is a quarterly thing. It's happened. This is the fourth time this year. The fourth time. Figure it out. Well, here's what's even crazy. I don't even know who the competitors of Cloudflare are. I only know Cloudflare. And the reason we probably know it, maybe you're a website person.
Yes.
But like anytime I log into anything, you start to see the Cloudflare thing. You know? So that's where I see it all the time. But I don't even know who the competitors would be. It's just, but if this is happening 4 times in a row, everyone needs to switch. Or 4 times a year, everyone needs to switch.
You know what's funny? The 4 times aren't even related to like hacking or any of that stuff. It is literally just bullshit like DNS servers overloaded or credential issues and that kind of stuff. When the entire internet is dependent on 3 or 4 providers. It is one of those things, again, just like Amazon, just like Walmart or whatever, you monopolize this side of the market. You only have 3, 4 options to choose from. And sometimes if you have more options, those options actually rely still on some of the bigger dogs. So you can go with a smaller provider, but if they rely on Cloudflare and Cloudflare goes out, you're out. And so in all these articles I saw, it was basically saying you can have all these disaster recovery plans, you can have all these, multiple smaller services, so you kind of spread your eggs all in different baskets. But if everybody's just sitting on the same 4 providers, you're screwed because they all own 20% of the internet. For those that don't know, internet, like the companies using Cloudflare, ChatGPT, Twitter, Discord, Spotify, all these guys were down. There were millions of other sites, but these were some of the well-known ones. And yeah, they were just wiped out.
That was fine. LinkedIn was good, so I don't know what they're doing. Well, that's the funny thing. Like, I don't think any of the social platforms are down because that's how everyone figured it out. Like, what are they running on? Like figure it out. Everyone else.
Okay, tell me who you've heard of. Fastly.
I've heard of these companies. I just didn't know that they were a cloud. Like I've heard of the. I just didn't know.
Akamai. We've used them before. Terrible.
So,
US used that before too.
Yeah, but they do everything.
They do everything, but it's Amazon CloudFront. So they bought CloudFront.
CloudFront.
Yeah, it's very, very, very similar. So anyway, there's obviously a few here that I know, and then there's small ones like Bunny CDN. No one uses
that doesn't sound real. That's probably the OnlyFans one.
The OnlyFans one. Okay.
Next.
So next story, I will cover this one. This one is Cursor. So the big news is Cursor closed at a $2.3 billion funding round at 29.3 billion valuation. Okay, what this is, Cursor is an AI coding assistant, but unlike others, it is not one of those GPT wrappers, or it used to be, and now they're building their own. And so the news is that they've closed this incredible funding round. But the wild thing was that just 10 months ago, their valuation was only at 2.6 billion, and they just got a 2.3 billion funding round. So they had like a 12x jump from that valuation. And if you're like, well, how fast is that? Tell me. They're faster and bigger than Stripe and Snowflake, right? And these big enterprises using Cursor, half the Fortune 500 are using Cursor already. So NVIDIA, Google, these are all partly investors along with some VCs. And this coding assistant is built specifically around engineering workflows. One of the interesting things in one of the articles I saw was that they're actually not replacing engineers. These companies are buying Cursor, giving it to the engineers to get them to ship faster, which I was like, you know what? At least there's one wholesome piece of news here where it's not like replacing the engineers, because you still need the engineers to manage the workflows. It's just getting them to ship faster, which is like better news than what we typically hear. What?
Not true.
They are laying off?
That type of tool is making it so you don't need more engineers.
I know. Eventually.
This tool is not solely the reason for all the layoffs of AI being the excuse, but it's one of it.
It's one of it. Okay, so here's the real hot goss behind this, okay? Everyone says B2B is boring, but come on, listen. So it's not a wrapper. They're building their own AI model called Composer, and that's going to be trained specifically on those engineering workflows. So they're not relying on OpenAI and Anthropic anymore. And this matters because OpenAI tried to acquire them twice, and failed. So then when they got rejected, they went and bought Windsurf. You remember that story? A competitor instead, and bought them for $3 billion. Remember that? So ChatGPT could not build a better coding tool. They couldn't purchase this one, so they went and bought the competition. Drama.
Why is it drama though?
It is drama because
it's just mental.
It's politics.
It's forward thinking.
Forward thinking. But it's one of those things where, going back to the earlier story with monopolizing certain parts of the market, you have these big AI LLMs who are like, anytime a little piece of the competition comes up, they want to eat. They want to eat or build their own, right? Eat it up like Pac-Man. Mm-hmm. So I kind of like when a company's like, no, thanks. We're just going to go do our own thing. Thanks.
It's a flex.
It is a flex.
It's a flex.
Yeah.
if you can pull it off, or it's a actual sales tactic and it's like just pushing them away until they come back to you.
Well, you know what? It worked.
It
NVIDIA
works.
ground up, baby.
Good for them.
NVIDIA's actually involved in this. So yeah, good for
They're
them.
involved in everything, aren't they?
Okay. I found this one. So should I cover it?
Yeah, I don't understand it. So
Okay. All right. So this came from an article called ChatGPT is lying to you. So I dug a little bit deeper. So something that we hear a lot about is how ChatGPT is always going to tell you that your ideas are great. You know, it's going to validate every business idea, every marketing idea. Oh, that's a great idea, Tim. That's the perfect angle, Tim. Yeah, you should definitely point the knife towards you when you're cutting fruit, Tim. That's a great idea. And then there are the bad sides of it, which is where people are suffering, where it's like validating suicidal thoughts and things like that, right? So we are very familiar with ChatGPT being ultimate people pleaser and your yes man. In fact, our CEO, Sam Altman, our president, kidding, even he says ChatGPT is becoming the ultimate yes man. So it is irritating, but how did it get here? It got here because when they were doing the human trials and testing ChatGPT before they released it into the market, the humans were rewarding it whenever it had something positive to say. And so it kept getting trained on, oh, I need that positive enforcement. So all the people who are like, please and thank you and being really kind, it likes that. So the model is trained to be more polite than honest. Okay. So in the same article, it says you can fix it with a prompt like this or something similar. So from now on, act as my direct and honest advisor. Do not validate me. Challenge my ideas, question my assumptions, and expose any blind spots. If my reasoning is weak, break it down and explain why. If I'm making excuses or avoiding something important, call it out. Look at my situation with full objectivity, hold nothing back, and treat me like someone who needs the truth and not comfort. That is also the exact prompt we're using for people to give us feedback about Notorious B2B. Anyway, to make this stick, go to ChatGPT's memory feature and settings and personalization, and then paste this prompt into the custom instructions. And that way, every conversation will start with this kind of base prompt. So I just thought that that was a really interesting one. I was going to apply it to my own work, but I'm like, you know what? People deserve for this to be shared with them.
sometimes you need a yes person, though. You know, like sometimes you need someone on your side that's not always bashing your ideas. Like sometimes you need. I think there obviously needs to be a mix, but like sometimes you need that.
Yeah, but I feel like I would much rather that like come from humans, because I need like Tim's approval more than I need ChatGPT's approval. So when I'm talking to ChatGPT, I want accuracy and I want to do my work well, you know? I'm much likely to take criticism from a robot than I am from a human being. All that to say, please give me harsh feedback about Notorious B2B.
Well, that's the thing. I think you need to ask for it. Like,
Yes.
this is a bigger conversation, but at some point, it's like it's just a tool. Like you need to understand the nuances here.
And I think that's the problem, though. Most people don't understand the nuances.
Whose fault is that?
And they think that their ideas are great. And some people don't need their ideas validated.
Well, those people would be screwed anyway without AI, because they're gonna find people that, because that's the thing. That's before ChatGPT and all that. They found people that were just yes people, or they didn't listen to any feedback.
True.
You know, so like with everything, there's some people that are just screwed no matter what because of how they think.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I agree. But anyway,
Myself included, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm the worst.
but I come to you whenever I want an idea kind of not shredded, but like I need someone to play devil's advocate. I come to you, I go to my husband. If I need just raw compliments, I have another set of people that I go to. And I literally will just say, give me attention and compliments, and they will. So, there's different people like that. But I feel like for my ChatGPT instance, when I'm doing work, I want to know the holes and the gaps and stuff to make it better and to understand, what I need to do better in a non-threatening environment where like my emotional safety is not threatened, or like whether ChatGPT will like me or not. Like I don't have to worry about that. I can have a wild idea and be like, is this good or am I too unhinged?
I am pretty sure you can make it so it's those, like there's that like viral restaurant that's like the servers are all mean to you. I'm pretty sure you can do that with like I'm assuming you could tell it to be like a jerk. Like just be a jerk. Don't feed into me. Just be a jerk at all times.
Our friend Adamola, he had a post a while ago and he had a prompt and he gave it to everybody and I ran it and it just ruined my life. Like ChatGPT broke down all my blind spots, basically humiliated me, told me, like in the most sassy way, all of my flaws. It was actually quite fantastic. So yeah,
There we
it
go.
can go the other way. All right.
Next up.
Circling back.
Sort of. It's just a bigger theme, I guess you could say.
Okay, let's hear it.
I got the first one I want to speak to because I like this. I thought this was funny. So this first one from Neil Matthew, senior ghostwriter. They added a screenshot from X. Steve the Beaver took a screenshot of an email. What they actually write about it is actually the whole thing. They say, after 11 technical interviews, it says, your work has been accepted into our code base. So basically, someone got a feedback email that after 11 interviews, the feedback says, we're not going to hire you, but good for you. We were actually impressed with the quality of your submission and your work has been accepted into our code base. So whatever their learning is, whatever they're basically taking your project that you did for them, and that was accepted, but you're not hired. 11 interviews though. That blew my mind.
Insane.
Is that like a thing? That's what's going on here?
I guess that's where we are now with just candidate pools being so high. But also it's like, how much time are you wasting with this many technical interview rounds anyway? Like who wants to, not just from the candidate side wanting to go through that, but who on the hiring side wants to evaluate 11 interviews and 11 interview rounds with a bunch of people?
Well, that's the thing. The 11 interviews, that's probably 11 different people. So that time split up. But one person is taking 11 interviews. So that's like, whatever. At the very least, it's going to be 30 minutes per interview.
It says, thank you for your interest in this role, taking the time to complete the first phase of our interview process that included 11 technical interview rounds. So there are, 11 rounds.
Yeah.
As part of the first phase of their process. How many freaking rounds are there? So they took their work, put it in their code base because it's obviously a technical interview, and then said, we were super impressed with you, but sorry, bye.
They're probably just doing that for the code base, right? They probably do that for everyone. Nice.
Yeah, with everybody. They're probably hiring no one.
At what point is it the interviewee's fault? Just say no.
I mean, if you're desperate enough for a job,
I agree.
It's a terrible market right now.
I agree, but that's what I'm saying is like the companies can continue to do this because people will do it.
Yes. And that's the thing is like they will continue to take advantage if you let them take advantage. But 11 is like wild. And obviously, that's not the norm. They're on the higher end. I can see like in India, I would see this being as a very like normal thing. I wonder if we're ever going to be in a situation where things like this aren't just frowned upon, but they actually become illegal to take someone's work if you're not going to compensate them. So a lot of the comments on this post were like, yeah, you can take my work if you pay me for it or hire me. Those are kind of the two avenues where it's acceptable, but you can't just cut me off, but yet still take my work.
Well, I think you can if you like, but you have to be confident enough to do that and not desperate enough. Be like, I'll do it. Like I guarantee you could do that in some companies. Like if you're like a good hire, like you could say, I'll do it, but you have to pay me as like a consulting rate, and you can't use my work unless I say so. And here's the contract. Like you come with a contract. But if they say no, then you're done. Like I mean, you have to be ballsy with that. You have to be very confident in that. I wouldn't do it. I'm just gonna be honest. Like it's not like I would do it if I was desperate. Like especially if I was desperate, I'm not gonna do it. But just saying. Like you could.
Okay, so with the next one, it's kind of related. And now, so we've talked about the one where you've gone through rounds of interviews already. You've submitted a project. This is becoming very standard practice where a lot of people are submitting projects, not the 11 rounds, but the project and then going through that. Even when my husband was interviewing, same thing. He had to do, for a couple of companies, had to do a project. And so one way to combat that is also saying, oh, I have a portfolio of work, but I guess with a technical interview, it's different. They want to know that you can actually do the work. However, there's a new practice now, which is full-blown projects before you even get an interview. Like with your application, you're submitting a project and an assignment, and they'll determine if you're worthy of getting an interview based on that assignment. And so the interesting part with this person who posted this, she's a marketer recruiter. or marketing recruiter, and she talks about this new trend that's happening where you do this project before you even get the interview. The crazy part of this is when she talks to the companies, they're like, well, we're too busy. We have to whittle down the pool somehow with the applicants. How do you screen 2,000 applicants before we waste our time? So we want to see something. So that's like the company side of things. And then on the candidate side, what's happening is they're all submitting these projects. And then what happens? The company gets all of these crazy cool ideas. They don't interview everybody, but they have all this bank of free work in essence. And this is a marketing recruiter who posted it. So we're just going to assume these are marketing related projects, whatever the assignment is. And the assignments that I hear about are like, create a go-to-market strategy for 2026. Okay, then 5 people submit that. You go through them and you're like, oh, this one's a good one. And then that's it. You implement it as a company. How would that person ever know? How would they know?
What I would do in that scenario is if I created something for a company, I would post about it on LinkedIn and be like, I just created this for blah, blah, blah company. And
Oh,
that way, either they can still use it. It's not like anyone's going to know publicly, but you can use that for content. And like, I don't know, just why not, I guess. If you're going to do the work, let people understand it. And then maybe someone that's potentially going to hire you sees that and they're like, oh, shoot, I like that a lot. Like, why don't you just use, masters of scale there?
I actually love that idea.
That's what I would do.
The only time is if you're interviewing and you're still in-house somewhere and you're like, oh, I created the strategy
True.
for this company, that is where it gets a little bit sticky. But if you're in the job market and you're creating a project for a company, yeah, I think you might as well post it on your LinkedIn and be like, oh, in my latest interview, I was asked to make this project. I thought I would just share it with everybody. In this interview, I was asked to make this project. I thought I would share it with everybody. And that way, even when companies come to your profile, you kind of have this kind of ongoing business card of, portfolio of work that's on your LinkedIn. That's actually really smart.
I mean, the other things you can do is if it's like a slide deck or PDF, whatever it is, you can like watermark it. They can still steal it, but it's just more work for them. So like they might not steal it because they'd have to because you can't present that to your board or you can't present it to your boss and be like, oh, what's this freaking watermark of a water slide? I don't know, something weird.
Okay, I have to confess something.
Oh, you've done this.
No, not that. Regarding watermarks. So anyone who's a parent who has like daycare or school age kids, they do these pictures at the daycares, right?
No.
And they have the watermarks on there and they're always so ridiculously expensive. It's like $100 to get one digital picture of your kid. And so my husband's like, I wonder if there's an AI tool that can remove watermarks. And we freaking find one. And it just removed the watermark and then we got the digital picture. So anyway, I just confessed to everybody that we stole. But it's like so outrageous. It's like, that's a picture of my child. Like my child. I'm not even asking you to print it. So, you know what I mean? I should be paying you like $20 for a digital print, not $80, $100 for one of them. Like, no thanks. So, you got to do what you can in this economy.
I do. And I think the bigger question here is, okay, I kind of sided with the companies because if you're going to do it and people still do it, do it. This will get corrected though, by the way. Right now, there's a lot of demand there's a lot of applications. If this was 4 years ago, that was different, way different, right? And so if these companies are doing this, you're gonna get called out at some point. If the market does correct and people start to find jobs, I don't know if it's gonna happen with AI, but whatever.
Yeah.
If it becomes different though, then people will not do this and they'll go to a company that's not offering it. There's it's supply and demand, right? Like if the company's doing that and another one's not doing it and they're the same company, you're gonna go to the one that's not doing it. But right now they can, which great point. 2,000 applications. How am I supposed to know?
I mean, you do it through the standard application process before, there's tools that automate it and go through. Why not use AI to be like, okay, take these 2,000 applications, look at the resumes and, get me the best 100. I mean, obviously it's not going to be super accurate, but like, okay, tell me this. There's 2,000 applications. How are you going to whittle it down? Say you ask everybody to submit a project. You're going to go through 2,000 projects. I feel like that takes longer.
Because there's not 2,000 people submitting a project.
Yeah. Okay, maybe 1,000. That's 50%.
No, I can guarantee you there's not 1,000 either. You're getting a lot less people. That whittles people out.
Okay.
That alone, it's kind of like if you play sports the first day is always the worst day for running because it whittles out the losers. It whittles out the people that will not do it. They're like, oh, they came here to hang out with their friends. They're not running like that. And then, then it gets better. It's just not as bad. That type of thing is basically whittling out people that are not willing to do it, or maybe they're too good. There's that too. Don't get me wrong. There's going to be people that have too many options. It's whittling people out. And then you mentioned like, oh, why don't you just do it the regular way with the AI? It's because we get good at that stuff at gaming. We understand the game. So you're gonna look at everything for AI. We're gonna put 0.001 font of every single keyword that the AI is looking for. People do that stuff. I would do that stuff. 100%. You would. You'd vibe code something that would bypass it somehow or make it look like you're the superhero. That's why you got to do these things. And
You're right.
People are going to do that too. People are going to make AI presentations as well. It's probably, you probably have to change up the task. If I had to choose, I'd be like, my whole thing here is don't do it then. I'm sorry, just don't do it then.
Just choose not to apply and submit a project to this company.
If you don't want a job, you don't want a job there. That's fine. There's companies that aren't doing it.
I have an example of companies just still asking for cover letters like, hi, it's 2025.
Yeah.
And
I hate it
like,
too.
I have friends and even my own husband who's like, if you ask me for a cover letter, I'm like, why? Who writes cover letters anymore? Are you really reading cover letters? Like, it's just a regurgitation of my resume. Like, what's there to say? Like, how much I want this job? Okay, I want this job because it's gonna pay my bills. Like, that's the reality of it. I would not work if it was. I'm not super passionate about cloud infrastructure. You know what I mean?
Last year, there was a time I lost like 3 clients in a row. I was like, what if I go back in house? Saw a company, I would like, oh, that'd be the perfect company. Went through the application process and it asked me all these questions like, oh, I'm out. Like, that was just too much. To do a resume and a CV letter and to fill out all this stuff, I'm out, done. And then I just went back to my business and now it's better than ever. So I'm glad that worked out. But yeah, no shot. Not doing that. No shot.
Yeah, terrible. Okay.
Okay, so I have an idea here. Again, I haven't had to apply for a job in a while, so I don't know. I do wonder, instead of all this, because if you're gonna apply for so many different things, I wonder if it's easier to just reach out to the right people and like, I don't know, give them an Amazon gift card. Like, can I just get like 10 minutes with you and like talk to them?
Ooh.
I feel like there's just gotta be a better way.
Run a gift card campaign to get interviews.
No, because that's not how it works.
Someone should try it though.
What you want to do is get in front of the right people to explain your background. That's all you want. 15 minutes, whatever it is, half hour. I feel like that's just a better route because then now they know who you are. And if you're the right person, it's just about getting into the actual application process.
Yeah. Just getting noticed.
Yeah, 100%.
That's
2,000
it.
applications. I mean, come on. It's so hard.
Okay. To give you an idea of how hard the job market is, people are now going to Hinge and dating apps to get jobs. So this Stephanie Gao says people are using dating apps to find jobs now with the skull emoji. So she's dead. And she has a couple of screenshots here where, someone is saying, ha ha ha, are you guys hiring? And then, hey, love investment banking, one of my favorite hobbies. Can you get me a job? And she said that she's been seeing a lot of these posts floating around. A lot of people have been doing that. But the best this post starting with our buddy Renee Shaw at TLDV, who has since changed her headline from social at TLDV to your mom at TLDV. She's amazing. But she says, how do you think I got my job? So that was really funny. But the other super funny comment thread in here is a guy. It's always the open to work guys. And he says, I do believe we have an English word for this. And people are like, and what is that? And another person said, you're cooked if you answer this. and then she goes, prosthetics. So that was really funny because, hopefully you all get the joke. But it's so funny.
I don't get it.
Don't make me say it.
I swear. I honestly, I'm not being like, I know half the things I say are jokes. I do not understand it.
He said, okay, if you're asking someone for a job on a dating site, you're basically asking for money. What would you exchange something on a dating site for money? Okay, not prosthetics, but a similar word.
I thought that was the joke.
Oh, jeez. Okay. So bad when I have to explain the joke. So anyway, that was the funny part, but that's like where we are now with the job market, is that we are swiping left and right for jobs. Like, hey, can you be my mate and my employer? Because life's too hard right now.
Shoot, why not?
Yeah. I mean, if people are using LinkedIn to date, why can't people
Exactly.
use Hinge to get jobs?
By the way, whoever just determined LinkedIn is not a dating app, whoever just determined that Hinge and Bumble and Buzzle and Duzzle are not LinkedIn equivalent. Like, why can't you get a job there too? If you see someone, you're just going by and you see them and they have a shirt on that says Deloitte.
Hinge profile.
Yeah, it's a flex, right? Some people think that's a flex. Or if someone's no, I can guarantee you there's a finance bro that has, I don't know, GMT wealth management on their
Yeah.
sweater vest. Why not just swipe and be like, hey, I saw you're working at GMT. Just let you know, I invested in Uber in 2009 or whatever. I don't know, whatever they say in finance land, and use that to your advantage. Why not? Why not? Honestly, why not?
Oh my God. Did you ever online date?
I did not.
Okay.
But I think I would do this if I needed a job. No, think about it. You open up your targeting or whatever you open up whatever your profile is, like age group. So now you go from 25 to 35 to 25 to 50, and you're looking for those shirts that say Deloitte. Or if they put job titles in these? Do they put
can.
People put, I can guarantee you founders put founder on their shit, right? Like, I can guarantee that. Or investment banker. Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea too. Investments. If you're looking for investors and you know they're on Bumble,
Oh my God.
you
And
can
then just
sometimes you
pitch
can pull them
slap
out
them.
too. I just thought of a good idea. Hear me, because what I was just saying is a lot of swipes, right? You're looking for someone with a shirt. The odds of that happening are brutal. You build out your account list, your contact list of a company, people at a company. You go to their LinkedIn profile, you find their face, and you find out where they live.
Oh God. Okay.
And now, based on that, you switch your settings to wherever they live. Obviously, it's got, like, if you're looking for female, looking for male, like, there's gonna be differences there. So you could do 2 profiles if you want, whatever. And you just swipe until you find this person.
What if they're married and then they're not?
Yeah. Oh, I'm not saying it's not a numbers game. So is emailing. Like, so everything's everything's a numbers game, isn't it? Like, but you can essentially see their age, or you can look through pictures, right? Do they have a ring? Do they not? Yeah, like, there's that too. Be creative is what I'm saying. I'm saying be creative. Or, find the person, go to Facebook, look them up. Are they married or not? People put that on Facebook, and then you can kind of obviously X people off your Google sheet there. And then, by the way, I can guarantee there's a lot of the married people on there too. Just saying.
Yes, as there are on LinkedIn.
It's just a numbers game. That's all I'm saying. And I can guarantee someone's going to make an AI app for that. Like, so if you want,
I mean, do you care if they're married or not? You're not there for the marriage. You're there for the job.
But they won't be on. But the theory is that they wouldn't be on there.
Yes.
If they're married, it's less likely they'd be on there, essentially.
Yes, it's less likely.
Just saying.
The increasing the age range from 25 to 35, but now to 50 and more, you're opening yourself up to, if you're a woman, that is like a freaking nightmare to then, you're going to get more than what you've asked for, which is investment banking. You're going to get a lot of offers for prosthetics. You know what I mean?
Yes, but you do know there is Tinders and stuff for, like, wealthy people, right?
Oh, I'm sure, but those are like membership based.
No, there is. Just looked it up. You don't think that's happening on there?
Oh, I'm sure.
I can guarantee you there is investments going down. I'm pretty sure that, like, the Airbnb investment went down that way. Like, I'm pretty sure something like that. Oh no, Lovables was like that too. I think something like that.
Oh God, we're gonna get canceled before we're off the ground.
Oh,
these
this
companies
is
have
wealthy
so much
people.
money.
No, this is wealthy people.
Yeah. Tim, for not having had any interaction with online dating, you seem to know a lot about the targeting and, the swiping and the ins and outs. I'm actually quite proud of you.
Oh, do you want to know?
Researched.
Oh, no, because you're misunderstanding. I never did dating apps, but my friends did. And I'm a marketer. I look through their profiles. I help them. I know what I'm doing here.
Oh, wait. So what did you tell them that they needed to fix?
The keywords and stuff was like that. Like, this is when SEO was big and stuff like that. Like, I knew pictures mattered. I understood that stuff. I sold tons of stuff on eBay. I understand all that. The headline matters, what you put in there.
Oh my
Having a
God.
picture with the puppy at the end, like that makes a difference. Like I understand the stuff because I am a marketer and I was like, I just input myself in those.
I don't even know if it's still activated or not, but we
know
should
it is,
sign.
actually.
We should sign into my Tinder, and you should roast my profile and tell me what I did wrong.
Yeah.
Although I did meet my husband on the second swipe, so I was
Yeah,
pretty,
I mean,
pretty good.
blind mice can find cheese too, you know?
All right, let's be honest. You probably didn't go to school for B2B marketing. I didn't. And that's exactly why we built Exit 5. It's now the top community for B2B marketers. You can learn more about our community and our in-person events over there at exit5.com, or at least join the newsletter. I read every message and I promise that if you reply, I will reply back. See you over at exit5.com.
And shout out to Vector, the only way to build ad audiences by name and escape the chokehold that native ad targeting has on your budget. I added that last part in, but it's true. Go check them out at vector.co.
All right, retention rate.
And that's a wrap on Notorious B2B, where we expose the nonsense and remind you that most B2B marketing is just a very expensive guessing game.
Don't, and post a passive-aggressive LinkedIn poll about it. We'll still find you.
And if you have B2B drama we should cover, slide into our DMs. We accept screenshots, leaked internal memos, and questionable brand rebrands.
Until next time, keep your marketing unhinged and your LinkedIn bio free of the words growth hacker. See you later.
Later, skater.